From the depths of the ocean, where the mysteries of the deep blue sea have captivated the human imagination for centuries, to the uncharted territories beneath the waves, humanity has always been driven by an insatiable curiosity. The ocean, with its vast and unexplored regions, has been a frontier that has challenged our ingenuity and resilience. To the vast expanse of space where the stars beckon and the cosmos stretches infinitely, humanity has always sought to push the boundaries of exploration and innovation. The quest to understand our place in the universe has led us to build rockets, send astronauts beyond our atmosphere, and embark on missions that once seemed impossible. Space, like the ocean, represents the ultimate challenge and the pinnacle of human achievement. In this series, we journey back in time to revisit 10 infamous tragedies that shook the world. These events are not just historical footnotes but pivotal moments that have shaped our collective consciousness and influenced the course of history. By examining these tragedies, we gain insight into the human condition and the complexities of our endeavors. We will delve into the circumstances that led to these tragedies, examining the human errors, technical failures, and unforeseen events that culminated in disaster. Through detailed investigations and expert analysis, we will uncover the root causes and contributing factors that led to these catastrophic events. More importantly, we will explore the profound impact these accidents had on our world, prompting sweeping changes in regulations, industries, and the very fabric of our lives. The aftermath of these tragedies often led to significant reforms and advancements in safety protocols, ensuring that such events would not be repeated. Join us as we navigate the wreckage of the past, not to dwell on tragedy, but to glean valuable insights that continue to shape our present and safeguard our future. By understanding the lessons of the past, we can build a safer and more resilient world, where the pursuit of progress is balanced with the wisdom of experience. The RMS Titanic, a leviathan of its time, embarked on its maiden voyage in 1912, a symbol of human ingenuity and ambition. This grand vessel, the largest and most luxurious ocean liner ever built, was a marvel of modern engineering. It was designed to be the epitome of safety and comfort, boasting state-of-the-art technology and opulent amenities that promised an unparalleled travel experience. The Titanic carried the hopes and dreams of over 2,200 souls, all drawn to the promise of a new world. Among them were some of the wealthiest people of the time, as well as immigrants seeking a better life in America. The ship's interiors were a testament to Edwardian grandeur, with lavish dining rooms, grand staircases, and luxurious cabins that catered to the elite. Yet beneath this veneer of opulence lay a critical flaw. Little did they know, fate had a cruel twist in store. The Titanic was equipped with only 20 lifeboats, enough for just over half of those on board. This oversight would prove catastrophic in the face of disaster. As the ship sailed across the Atlantic, the passengers reveled in the luxury and comfort, blissfully unaware of the impending danger that loomed ahead. The Titanic, believed to be unsinkable, sailed confidently into the icy depths of the North Atlantic. The ship's crew had received multiple warnings about icebergs in the area, but these were largely ignored as the ship pressed on at full speed. The night was calm and clear, with the stars shining brightly above, giving no hint of the peril that lay ahead. Its opulent interiors, a testament to Edwardian grandeur, masked a critical flaw: a shortage of lifeboats woefully inadequate for the sheer number of passengers and crew on board. The lifeboats that were available were not even filled to capacity during the evacuation, a tragic oversight that would cost many lives. The ship's designers had believed that the Titanic's advanced safety features would prevent any need for a full-scale evacuation. On the night of April 14th, the unthinkable occurred. The ship was cruising at a high speed when a lookout spotted an iceberg directly in its path. Despite efforts to steer clear, the Titanic could not avoid the collision. The iceberg scraped along the starboard side, creating a series of punctures below the waterline. A fateful encounter with an iceberg, its presence obscured by the darkness, sealed the Titanic's tragic fate. The collision, though seemingly glancing, ripped a fatal gash in the ship's hull, sending shockwaves through its steel frame. Water began to flood the lower compartments at an alarming rate, overwhelming the ship's pumps and sealing its doom. The collision, though seemingly glancing, ripped a fatal gash in the ship's hull, sending shockwaves through its steel frame. The ship's watertight compartments, designed to keep it afloat in the event of a breach, were quickly overwhelmed. The Titanic was doomed, and it was only a matter of time before it would succumb to the icy waters. Panic ensued as the icy Atlantic waters relentlessly poured in, slowly claiming the once majestic vessel. Passengers scrambled to reach the lifeboats, but the chaos and confusion made orderly evacuation impossible. Many were trapped below decks, unable to escape the rising water. The ship's band played on, hoping to calm the terrified passengers, but their efforts were in vain. The shortage of lifeboats became a death sentence for many, leaving them stranded on the sinking ship, their cries swallowed by the vast, unforgiving ocean. As the Titanic's bow dipped below the surface, the stern rose high into the air, before the ship finally broke apart and disappeared beneath the waves. Over 1,500 lives were lost that night, a tragic reminder of the hubris and folly of man. The LZ-129 Hindenburg, a marvel of German engineering, dominated the skies in the 1930s. This massive airship, stretching over 800 feet in length, was a sight to behold, capturing the imagination of people around the world. It was not just an airship, it was a symbol of a new era in aviation, representing the pinnacle of human achievement in the skies. This colossal airship, a symbol of national pride and technological prowess, promised a luxurious and swift mode of transatlantic travel. Passengers aboard the Hindenburg enjoyed opulent dining rooms, spacious cabins, and panoramic views from the observation decks. It was a flying palace, offering an unparalleled experience of comfort and elegance, making the journey across the Atlantic not just a trip, but an adventure. But its reign as the king of the skies would be tragically cut short. The Hindenburg's promise of safe and luxurious travel was shattered in an instant, leaving a scar on the history of aviation that would never fully heal. Filled with highly flammable hydrogen, the Hindenburg was a technological marvel, but also a potential tinderbox. The decision to use hydrogen, due to the unavailability of helium, was a calculated risk that ultimately proved catastrophic. The airship's designers had taken every precaution, but the volatile nature of hydrogen meant that the Hindenburg was always one spark away from disaster. Despite its size and grandeur, it was a fragile giant, susceptible to the whims of the elements and the unforgiving nature of its volatile fuel source. The Hindenburg's massive frame was vulnerable to strong winds and storms, and its hydrogen-filled cells were a constant source of anxiety for its crew and passengers. On May 6, 1937, disaster struck as the Hindenburg attempted to land in Lakehurst, New Jersey. The airship, having completed a transatlantic journey, was preparing for a routine landing when tragedy unfolded. The skies were overcast, and the air was thick with anticipation, as the ground crew prepared to receive the giant airship. In a matter of seconds, the airship, once a symbol of progress, transformed into an inferno, its silver skin engulfed in flames. The fire spread with terrifying speed, consuming the Hindenburg's hydrogen-filled cells and turning the majestic airship into a blazing wreck. The scene was one of chaos and horror, as the once proud symbol of human ingenuity was reduced to a fiery ruin. As the horrifying spectacle unfolded before the eyes of stunned onlookers and radio listeners, the Hindenburg, a symbol of human ingenuity, was reduced to a smoldering skeleton. The disaster was broadcast live on radio, and the world listened in shock as the tragedy was described in real time. The images and sounds of the disaster were seared into the collective memory, a stark reminder of the fragility of human achievement. The disaster claimed the lives of 36 people, marking a dark day in aviation history. The Hindenburg disaster was not just a tragic accident, it was a turning point in the history of air travel, leading to the end of the airship era and the rise of the airplane as the dominant mode of long-distance travel. The legacy of the Hindenburg lives on, a testament to the risks and rewards of pushing the boundaries of human innovation. The bustling city of Bhopal, India, home to nearly 1 million souls, seemed a world away from the serenity of nature. Yet even here, the delicate balance of life could be shattered in an instant. In the early hours of December 3, 1984, a silent, invisible threat crept through the streets, carried on the night air. A pungent odor like overripe fruit alerted some residents, but many slept on, unaware of the toxic cloud engulfing their homes. This was no natural phenomenon, but a man-made disaster of unimaginable proportions, the Bhopal gas tragedy. From the Union Carbide pesticide plant, a deadly gas, methyl isocyanate, had escaped, leaking into the night. The immediate impact was horrifying. Thousands awoke gasping for air, their lungs burning, eyes stinging. Panic gripped the city as people, overwhelmed by the invisible gas, collapsed in the streets, their cries for help swallowed by the night. Hospitals, ill-equipped for such a catastrophe, were quickly overwhelmed, with many medical staff themselves succumbing to the deadly fumes. The year is 1986. The promise of progress through nuclear power resonates worldwide. Yet, in the heart of Ukraine at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, an unprecedented disaster is about to unfold. On April 26, during a routine safety test, a surge of power tore through Reactor 4. In an instant, the core overheated, triggering a catastrophic explosion that blew the roof off the reactor building, spewing radioactive debris high into the atmosphere. The world watched in disbelief as news of the disaster slowly emerged from behind the Iron Curtain. The Soviet government, initially reluctant to acknowledge the severity of the accident, scrambled to contain the fallout. Firefighters, unaware of the invisible danger they faced, bravely battled the blaze, their heroic efforts ultimately costing many their lives. The legacy of Chernobyl endures, a stark reminder of the potential perils of nuclear power. The Space Shuttle Challenger disaster occurred in January 1986, when the NASA shuttle broke apart 73 seconds after liftoff, resulting in the deaths of all 7 astronauts on board. The incident was caused by the failure of an O-ring seal in its right solid rocket booster, leading to a catastrophic structural failure. The disaster was witnessed by millions on live television, including many schoolchildren watching the launch of Krista McAuliffe, the first teacher in space. The tragedy led to a 32-month hiatus in the shuttle program and significant changes in NASA's safety protocols and management. The Challenger disaster remains a somber reminder of the inherent risks of space exploration. The Piper Alpha disaster remains the deadliest offshore oil rig accident in history. In July 1988, an explosion and subsequent fires on the Piper Alpha oil platform in the North Sea claimed the lives of 167 workers. The catastrophe was initiated by a gas leak from a maintenance operation that had not been properly communicated to all shifts. The absence of adequate safety measures and emergency procedures exacerbated the death toll. This disaster prompted sweeping changes in offshore safety regulations, including enhanced communication protocols and stricter safety standards. The Piper Alpha tragedy underscored the critical need for rigorous safety practices in the oil and gas industry. The lessons learned from this disaster continue to influence the industry today, ensuring a safer future for offshore operations. The crash of Air France Flight 4590, a Concorde supersonic passenger jet, in July 2000 resulted in the deaths of all 109 passengers and crew, as well as 4 people on the ground. The accident occurred shortly after takeoff from Paris when the aircraft struck debris on the runway, leading to a ruptured fuel tank and subsequent fire. The crash ended the era of supersonic commercial travel, as the Concorde fleet was retired in 2003. The investigation revealed that the debris had fallen from a preceding aircraft, prompting changes in runway inspection and maintenance procedures. The Concorde crash underscored the importance of stringent safety measures for all phases of flight operations. This tragic event marked the end of an iconic chapter in aviation history. The September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks on the United States were among the deadliest in history, resulting in nearly 3,000 deaths. Hijackers took control of 4 commercial airplanes, crashing 2 into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, and 1 into the Pentagon. The 4th plane, United Flight 93, crashed in Pennsylvania after passengers attempted to overpower the hijackers. The attacks led to significant changes in global security, particularly in aviation, with the creation of the Transportation Security Administration (TSA) and stricter security protocols. The events of 9/11 had profound political, social, and economic impacts worldwide. The world would never be the same again. In January 2012, the Costa Concordia cruise ship struck a reef off the coast of Italy and capsized, leading to the tragic loss of 32 lives. The disaster was caused by the ship's captain deviating from the planned route to perform a close-to-shore maneuver. The evacuation was chaotic, with many passengers unable to reach lifeboats in time. This incident led to increased scrutiny of cruise ship safety and changes in international maritime regulations, including better evacuation procedures and stricter bridge management practices. The Costa Concordia disaster serves as a stark reminder of the critical importance of adhering to safety protocols at sea. The Rana Plaza collapse in Bangladesh is considered one of the deadliest industrial accidents in history. In April 2013, an 8-story commercial building housing garment factories collapsed, killing over 1,100 workers and injuring more than 2,500. The disaster was caused by structural failures and the building's illegal construction practices. The collapse highlighted the poor working conditions and lack of safety regulations in the garment industry. The tragedy spurred international outrage and led to significant changes in labor laws and safety standards in Bangladesh and other countries. The Rana Plaza collapse remains a sobering reminder of the need for ethical labor practices and corporate responsibility. This event continues to influence global discussions on worker safety and corporate ethics. The impact of this disaster is still felt today, urging continuous improvements in the industry. From the icy depths of the North Atlantic to the bustling streets of Dhaka, we have journeyed through time, revisiting 10 infamous accidents that have left an enduring mark on our world. These tragedies, each unique in its circumstances, serve as somber reminders of the fragility of life and the importance of vigilance in an increasingly complex and interconnected world. These events, though steeped in sorrow, have also been catalysts for change. They have forced us to confront uncomfortable truths, to reevaluate our priorities, and to strive for a safer and more just future. The lessons learned from these disasters continue to shape safety standards, regulations, and our collective understanding of the world around us. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into significant historical events. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.